I now recognize Mr. Duarte for 5 minutes of questioning.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, the chairman. Appreciate being here today. I represent a rural district in California that sits right outside of San Francisco. We ship a lot of almonds out of our district. We ship a tremendous amount of ag commodities to West Coast ports. And we also have a large commuter pool that travels or tries to travel daily from Lathrop, northern and southern parts of my district into the Bay Area, one of the most dynamic job markets in the world. And I'm very concerned about two things, and I'll welcome answers from any of you. I've read all of your comments that were submitted, so thank you for that. One is, are my constituents getting their best bang for their buck out of the Infrastructure and Jobs Act, or is America hamstringing our ability to add the lanes that working families need to get to work with Carbon Buy American? Do we have the power grid to support a long-term production of domestic building supplies, rebar? Does anybody want to build a steel plant in America today with the carbon policies hanging over us? I'd like some very candid answers to that. And then we've also understood that on the port side, a great deal of our backlogging at the ports, there have been some bank reports. I know Rabobank did a very extensive report on nut supply chain issues, peanuts, walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and really pointed out shipping company consolidation in the last decade as being a major culprit of the, I would call it planned scarcity of shipping capacity that spiked revenues and increased shipping company profits extraordinarily. So please, any of you that would like to address any of those issues, I'll welcome.
To answer your first question about whether or not people want to make steel plants in this country, I've spoken to iron, steel, aluminum manufacturers. They want to expand their capacity. They're ready to do that. And we want to help them do that. And if we want to define how we're getting the best bang for our buck, if you want to be able to have the cheapest stuff, that's one way to define it. In my view, making sure that we're using this massive expenditure to also invest in our communities. That means investing in our manufacturing capacity as a country, so we're not relying on overseas for manufactured goods. I think that is a really good bang for our buck, long-term, for our country. I also think investing in good jobs, making sure that there are decent wages and decent benefits so that people have disposable income to reinvest in their communities, that is a pretty darn good bang for your buck. In addition to delivering really high-quality transportation systems in this country, I think doing it the right way has monumental benefits outside of just the new roads or the new train route. I think that we can actually invest in our communities and our people in a way that we haven't always done in the past.
Excellent, thank you.
I would just add that, are they getting the bang for their buck? You know, I made some comments earlier about, you know, your agricultural constituents, people growing walnuts, shipping around the country, you know, should the assets in an efficient supply chain, whether that's in the waterways or the highways or the infrastructure to get it to and from the port efficiently, should be first and foremost. And, you know, the more we can put on the ship and the quicker we can get it through our ports, the better off for your constituents. So
I agree. I mean, in summary, my platform is abundance. We need abundant food, abundant energy, and logistics are a major factor in abundance. And abundance to working families is affordability. And my district is entirely working families.
Yep, no doubt. And, you know, an efficient terminal, you know, the trucker deserves a clean run through there. You know, that need to be serving the rail. All of the modes of the supply chain need to be efficient, or it's passed on to the consumer, whether it's an import or an export of those goods.
Yeah, I think the best bang for the buck, I mean, the American people are going to see it, maybe not right now, but later. I mean, I think back to like when the highway system was built back in, what, the 50s and the 60s. It probably wasn't recognized right at that moment, but it catapulted America later on down the road. I think that's where something today is that with the IIJA money, we're going to be able to see that's going to take America further down the road. And
is it going to manifest itself in markedly better freeways, easier commutes to work, better logistics in our products and goods getting to markets and getting to consumers in ways that improve their lives?
I think so.
Are there ways to make that even better?
Well, I mean, you've kind of heard me talk about permitting, and everything. That's kind of one of my hot buttons is that, streamlining permitting. We got to get it built first, right, and everything. And so, I mean, if we want greener and faster and everything better, it starts with permitting. We got to figure that out.
Thank you.
Thank you. The gentleman's time has expired.